Hello everyone and welcome back to Fantom Sports Industries. My name is Joe Soisson. I'm a contributor for Fantom's hockey content. Today's video is a power ranking of the top 10 NHL teams through the month of November. We've got a lot to cover, so let's cue up some music and get this show on the road. Starting off at number 10, the Winnipeg Jets. Streaky but keeping things close. 8-5 through the month of November. They had 5 wins in a row, but are currently on a 3-game losing streak. Strong defense has been their key to keeping these games within reach. Tied for the 28th least total shots against, and tied for the 9th best goals against average in the league. So they don't give you very many opportunities, and the goaltending has been as advertised for Winnipeg. Now, this strong defense is supplemented by a top goal scorer on offense. Kyle Connor is tied for the 4th most goals in the league. And it's a very veteran group out of Winnipeg, and they rightfully hold the 3rd spot right now in the Central Division. At number 9, the Detroit Red Wings. Tied for 3rd in the Atlantic Division, and offense is their story. 4th most total goals for, 4th best goals per game average. And the scoring is really starting to spread out on this team. Alex DeBrincat is the leader, tied for the 11th most goals in the league, but there's 10 players on this roster with 5 or more goals. Totals up to being tied for the 6th best goal differential in the league. Now, they may have lost both Global Series games in Sweden, but since coming back, they're 4-1, and if the playoffs started today, they'd be a playoff team. At number 8, the Florida Panthers. A return to normalcy, they're back, and Sam Reinhart is a major reason why. 15 goals, tied for the 2nd most in the league, and new additions are getting on the scoreboard as well. Evan Rodriguez, 15 points, is the 5th most on the team. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, 6 goals, and the most points of any defenseman on the team. In fact, defense has been the bigger story for Florida. 5th best goals against average in the league, and despite being the 3rd most penalized team, they're 22nd in total shots against. That means they're possessing the puck and blocking a lot of shots, making life easier for Bobrovsky and company, which was something I talked about way back in my goalie videos before the season even started. Now, I still think there's a ways to go before they're back into Stanley Cup contender, but they're getting there. They're on the right path, and that's why I've got the Panthers at number 8. At number 7, the Dallas Stars. Really well-rounded squad here. 9 players have 13 or more points on this team, and all but one of them are forwards, which means that there's scoring depth here as well. The defense is still strong, especially flexing their muscles when down a man. 3rd best penalty kill percentage in the league. They also are tied for 1st for the most short-handed goals in the league. They're a clean team. They have the 4th least penalty minutes of any team. My concern is, for a team this good, they shouldn't be struggling as much at home. They're 5-4-1 when hosting, and some of those losses have been real rough, giving up 6 goals to Colorado, 7 to Calgary. Good offenses to deal with, sure, but a team that was so stout defensively last year shouldn't be giving up that many goals. But they're still winning games, which is why I have them at number 7. At number 6, the Los Angeles Kings. Look, these numbers are just too good to ignore. They win over 70% of their games. They have the 2nd best goals per game average in the league, the 5th most goals of any team, period. And that defensive problem I mentioned last time, oh yeah, they've figured it out. 3rd least shots against in the league. Cam Talbot's got the 3rd best goals against average and is tied for the 5th best save percentage in the league. They don't take a lot of penalties, and they have the number 1 penalty kill in the league. And to top it all off, they're 9-0 on the road, which is big for a team in the corner of the NHL geographical map. On top of all of this, they have yet to dip their toes into their own division. They're 1-0-1 against Vegas, and they have a win over Anaheim. They have yet to play the other 5 teams out of the Pacific, all but one of which have been struggling. And that team takes the 5th spot on my list. the hot start continues for the Vancouver Canucks. Best goals per game average in the league, best goal differential in the league, third best power play percentage, so you can't afford mistakes against them. They have the highest scoring defensive pair in the league. Quinn Hughes leads all defensemen in total points, and Filip Hronek is fourth on that list. But the big surprise has been Thatcher Demko playing lights out. Fourth best goals against average and sixth best save percentage in the league. Plus 2 shutouts this year, which ties him for the second most in the league. They are 5-5 through their last 10 games, and they have had their struggles on the road. But outside of that, this team feels like they're not slowing down at all, thus I keep them at number 5. At number 4, the Colorado Avalanche. Front to back, this team is really good. 7 players on this team have 10 or more points, and of those 7, all of them have a positive plus-minus, meaning this top line doesn't make mistakes. One of the best defensive pairs in the league on this team, by the way. Cale Makar has the 5th most points in the league and the best plus-minus in the league. Devon Toews has 12 points and a positive 13 plus-minus. They have taken a lot of penalties, but they're really good at getting out of it. 5th best penalty kill percentage in the league, and all of this has culminated in the 3rd best goal differential in the league. Georgiev is still playing a boatload of games, but he has come up clutch very, very frequently for Colorado, and there's just too much talent on this team to ignore or drop them any lower than 4th place on the list. And number 3, the Boston Bruins. 8-1-1 at home. That's the best home record in the NHL today. Tied for the 8th most goals in the league, and Pasternak is a major reason why. He is having a season right now. 31 points, 5th most in the league, 13 goals, tied for 6th most in the league. And then on the other side, Jeremy Swayman continues to impress. Swayman is 6th in both goals against average and save percentage, and Ullmark is not far behind. I stand by what I said last time. This is still a defensive team that may rely too heavily on the top line to score, but the new additions to this group continue to impress and not make mistakes. James Van Riemsdyk, Danton Heinen, Matthew Petrus, Morgan Geekie, Ian Mitchell, all in their first year as a Boston Bruin, all with a positive plus-minus. At this rate, it is hard to see them losing grip over the Atlantic Division, which is why I have them at number 3. And number 2, the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Too much talent and too much depth to lose. The Golden Knights currently have the most points in the Western Conference. Despite having the tied for 4th best goal differential in the league, Vegas doesn't have a top scorer. William Karlsson has 10 goals and is tied for 24th most in the league. Jack Eichel has 21 points, same as Karlsson, and he's tied for 31st most points in the league. But when you look at their goal spread, there's only one skater on the team who hasn't scored yet. It's Zach Whitecloud, who's only played in 9 games. They're 8-2-1 at home, and 3 of their losses in overtime have come on the road. And on top of all of this, Aiden Hill is atop the league in both goals against average and save percentage, and Logan Thompson is top 10 in both those categories, making this the best goalie duo in the NHL today. They just continue to find ways to win, which is why they're number 2 on this list. But at times, the New York Rangers felt more dominant. Look, through 20 games played, they had 15 victories. That's the best win ratio in the league. Tied for the 2nd least goals against total, tied for the 4th best goal differential in the league. They don't make a ton of mistakes, and they punish you for yours. Their special teams is great. 4th best power play percentage in the league, tied for the 6th best penalty kill percentage. A big portion of their success goes to their goalies. Shesterkin is doing well at 8-4, but how about Jonathan Quick in the season he is having? 6-0-1, 2nd best goals against average, and 3rd best save percentage in the league. Plus, this offense is clicking. Artemi Panarin's tied for the 6th most points in the league, and Chris Kreider is tied for the 6th most goals in the league. They even travel well. They're 9-2-1 on the road this season. They just seemingly have an answer for every phase of the game, which is why I've bumped them up to number 1 in the NHL through the month of November. So here's a summary of my top 10. I ended up avoiding the Metro Division pretty heavily here just because there's a lot of question marks for me in this division. Despite a good record, Carolina's only at a +2 goal differential. Washington just hasn't played as many games. By contrast, Philadelphia's played too many. But this is where I stand at the end of the month of November. And that's going to be it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoy our content, be sure to click the like button down below, and also be sure to click that subscribe button to get notified of any updates to this channel. Also be sure to check out our official site, that's fantomsportsindustries.com, for other news and takes around the sports world. Once again, my name has been Joe Soisson. Thank you all so much for watching, and we hope to see more of you next time here at Fantom.